Thankfully, these places aren't real, right? Welcome to WatchMojo.com, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 10 scariest horror video game locations. Before we begin, we publish new videos every day, so be sure to subscribe for more great content. For this list, we're looking at the scariest and most memorable locations in horror game history. We'll be focusing on entire areas and settings for this list, so one-off areas like spooky bathrooms or hallways will not be included. Also, we're being a bit loose with the term horror here. As long as the setting is disturbing or unsettling, it's basically eligible. Number 10, Yharnam, Bloodborne. Expectations were high for Bloodborne, another From Software and Miyazaki creation, and the game and setting did not disappoint in the slightest. The city of Yharnam takes great influence from Victorian and Gothic architecture. And like most horror stories which inhabit that setting, it's full of werewolves, otherworldly creatures, and bloodthirsty mobs out for your face. The city is dreadfully grim, and you can't help but feel pessimistic as you wander its winding and haunted streets, hoping that a massive creature isn't hanging on the side of a building and watching your every move. Oh, wait, there definitely is. Number 9, UAC Facility, Doom 3. While 2016's Doom brought the series back to its fast-paced roots, Doom 3 experimented more with the horror genre, and while some may argue about the merits of its gameplay, the scariness of the game and its environments are irrefutable. Doom 3 takes place in the UAC research facility on Mars after it's been infested with demons, and yeah, it's basically as scary as that sounds. The passages are dark, and the blood-soaked hallways always warn of impending danger and unspeakable monsters. The graphics and lighting of this game were incredible for its time, and they helped bring the nightmarish UAC to horrifying life. Number 8, The Zone, Stalker, Shadow of Chernobyl.
This one seems to be alive. What a lucky guy.
Okay, let's be serious. Chernobyl is basically a terrifying location. It's abandoned, it's filled with dead vegetation, it's eerily silent, and its buildings are littered with remnants of a once normal life. Long story short, it's not exactly the place you would want to go for a vacation, and Stalker captures that foreboding atmosphere perfectly. Only, you know, with weird electrical anomalies and humanoid mutants that want you for dinner. Chernobyl, or excuse us, The Zone, is bleak, but in a way that makes for a fantastically scary and sinister post-apocalyptic setting. Chernobyl's become a bit of a mythological location in pop culture recently, and games like this are certainly adding to its chilling aura. Number 7, Brennenburg Castle, Amnesia, The Dark Descent. In a similar vein to Yharnam, Brennenburg Castle takes its influence from 19th century Europe, and like most castles from that period, it's pretty damn dreary. The hallways are dark, only sporadically lit by candles, and eerie portraits hang from the walls. As if the castle itself wasn't creepy enough, you're also constantly hounded by the Shadow and the Gatherers, which makes every pitch-black hallway especially horrifying.
He left us enough wine to last us a lifetime!
It's definitely a stressful environment, but that means the game's doing it right. Number 6, Himuro Mansion, Fatal Frame.
So this is Himuro Mansion.
The Japanese certainly know how to do the supernatural right. Their horror films and video games are always pants-sweating levels of scary, and the original Fatal Frame is definitely no exception. In it, you must explore the abandoned Himuro Mansion. The mansion is old and dark, illuminated by only your flashlight. Oh, and by the way, it's absolutely riddled with ghosts who appear at any time. The amount of tension that the game creates throughout is unbearable, and you'll be poking your head around corners desperately hoping a ghost isn't waiting to pop up in your face. It's dreadfully scary, but it's also pretty damn entertaining. Number 5, the Von Braun, System Shock 2.
There are 4 types of units in the next room, one for each subsystem of your cybernetic gear.
System Shock 2 may be nearly 20 years old, but it can still scare the bejesus out of you. The game takes place on the starship Von Braun, and this claustrophobic setting makes you feel like you'll never escape the horrors. The game does away with cliche horror tropes like jump scares, and instead relies on mounting tension, unbelievable sound design, and a thick atmosphere that plays tricks with your mind. That said, there are still some nightmare-inducing monsters in the game, like those damn midwives. Ugh. Number 4, Rapture Bioshock.
I chose the impossible. I chose Rapture.
Widely considered to be the spiritual successor to System Shock, Bioshock is equally disturbing and tense, and perhaps even more so due to its modern graphics and engine.
An intruder! He's ugly! Ugly! Ugly!
Rapture was meant to be a city without government or religious meddling, but now it's just a creepy underwater nightmare full of drug-addicted psychopaths, genetically altered little girls, and humans who have their skin and organs grafted into diving suits. While the music and 50s aesthetic might be pleasant at first, Rapture is anything but, as it's dirty, run down, dark, and definitely very dangerous. Number 3, Sevastopol Station, Alien Isolation. If there's one video game that manages to nail a perfect sense of isolation and confinement, it's this. In the game, you traverse a dark and winding Sevastopol while trying to avoid aggressive androids who are incredibly difficult to kill, and of course a giant frickin' xenomorph, which is basically impossible to kill, literally. It could appear at any moment, and when it does, you better not let it see you. The game is nothing but unbearable tension, and we mean that in the best possible way.
Verlaine! Verlaine, are you there? Please tell me!
Number 2, The Spencer Mansion, Resident Evil.
What is this place?
Not quite your ordinary house, that's for sure.
There are a few locations in gaming that have been ingrained in the minds of players everywhere, and the Spencer Mansion is most definitely one of them. The Resident Evil series has always been a great source for scary locations, Raccoon City from Resident Evil 2 being another example, and while the Spencer Mansion and its inhabitants may seem a bit tame by today's standards, it scared the pants off of everyone back in 1996. Its winding hallways and secret passages are terribly ominous, and its monstrous occupants are even worse. This game became a pop culture phenomenon, in large part because of its stellar and memorable setting.
What's going on around here? I can't figure it out.
Same here.
Before we unveil our top pick, here are a few honorable mentions.
Hello? Hello? I wanted to record a message for you to help you get settled in on your first night.
Go on, run free. I'm in no hurry. No? All right.
Number 1, Silent Hill series. Was there really ever any competition? The town of Silent Hill has been scaring the bejesus out of gamers for nearly 20 years, and the series has earned its reputation as one of the scariest of all time due to its foreboding setting. Heck, even the name itself is kinda scary. This town has a little bit of everything: grotesque monsters, dark buildings, a terror-inducing atmosphere, and perhaps the creepiest damn sirens we've ever seen. No series can scare you quite like Silent Hill, and its setting will be remembered for a long, long time, especially in our nightmares. Ugh. Do you agree with our picks? Check out these other great clips from WatchMojo and subscribe for new videos every day.